Quedó tercero en Eurovisión 2018, pero durante unos minutos rozó las mieles del éxito porque fue primero en el jurado. Hi Cesar, how are you?
I'm really good.
Welcome to Madrid.
Thanks a lot.
To the great Madrid.
Yeah, it is great, but I haven't seen much of it today, but I will.
Is it your first time in Madrid?
No. I've been actually to the Eurovision pre-party in 2017 when I was still in the production team. I was here, that was the last time I was here, and I'm happy to be back.
So I was just remembering that you were first in the jury last year, third overall. For some minutes, you believed you were the winner of the contest. How did it feel?
I mean, I know how the thing works. I knew that there's a second 100% to be seen how they voted, but already to be the jury winner was a big confirmation for us as a team, because we always thought we're up there somewhere, but it was just an amazing feeling to see it confirmed in such a massive way.
At any moment you thought you could be like the actual winner?
Well, I was just at that point. I was just taking in the experience, not projecting too much, just letting it happen, and we were just wowed that it was such a tight race.
Let's begin because your experience with Eurovision started 2 years before. You were backup singer of Poliganova and Christian Kostov, and then you went as the main singer for Austria. How did it happen? How did you come to this point?
Well, I mean, being lead singer is what I do since 15 years, and I think my team wanted me to see Eurovision because they knew it's fantastic. I hadn't seen it. I was back in Vienna in productions. We have a very big team and we're working on different projects simultaneously. And then in 2016, my colleagues, they were like, well, we need someone to coordinate the voices, and could you maybe sing also and stuff like this. So they kind of lured me into the Eurovision, and sure enough, as soon as I was there, the love for this event caught me, and then it was the next year was I just wanted to be part of it again because it was so much fun in Sweden. So we did it again in Kiev, and all these years we always got in contact with our own delegation that we weren't part of. We were all Austrians more or less, and we spoke to the delegations, and we kept being in the top 5 and stuff like that, and the Austrian delegation were like, actually, aren't you Austrians? Why don't you work for us? so that's how it happened, that they invited us to send a song to them for 2018.
How do you remember the previous weeks preparing the show? How do you work like with the song, with the acting?
Well, first of all, it was a very fortunate setup because having done Eurovision so many times, we already have like a mode of working. We all know who does what and who is good at what. So it wasn't a totally new experience for us in figuring out how we do things. We had a good plan of how we want to make things happen, and also the ORF, the Austrian broadcaster, was very cooperative and they trusted us. So I think we had like all the creative freedom and executive powers, and they were just supportive of us and just thought they know what they're doing, they've done it before, and just working among professionals who have done it many years.
And once you were there, how do you remember the being there, being in Lisbon, being in this kind of production of this level?
Lisbon, the whole 2 weeks were an absolute ride. The production is always amazing. That's one of the reasons why I love Eurovision so much, because it's so highly professional. But also the time around Eurovision, since I was there before in the Eurovision circus, I made it a point to really use my time and really take it all in and never kind of stay at the hotel and stuff like that. I always did something,
What was the most difficult thing?
For me, the most difficult thing was working with so many cameras, because I'm a live musician. I come from a time from touring. I started touring when I was like 15 years old, 16 years old. So as far as like people are concerned, there's nothing new for me. But like looking at all these visual cues and actually performing for 2 sets of viewers, there's the live viewers and then there's the home viewers, and those are two totally different things. That was the new thing for me, and I had to learn a lot on the go, because you cannot really prepare for that many cameras, even at home.
We have like a tradition in Spain of going to the festival and start rehearsing. Like we rehearsed before, but we come to the festival and we want to change so many things. I don't think this is a good choice, no?
Ideally, you should already be done with what you want to do when you come there. Of course, staging-wise, there's no way around having to change some things because it's just different than you have it in your plan. But that shouldn't be the musician's problem so much, you know. It's more like the staging director's problem. And depending on how advanced the movement plan is for the artists, I mean, I had a pretty simple job: get on the platform, get off the platform. It was easy enough. Yeah, go around, go back to the platform. It was easy enough. But I'm sure if it's an ensemble with many people on stage, it might be more difficult.
So why did you laugh when I spoke about wanting to change things? Did you want to change as well, or?
No, I've just seen it. I've seen it a whole lot of times, and there's a lot of people who get like nervous because there's so much going on there. There's so much other people, and they start doubting themselves. You know, for some artists, it's very new to be in this situation, competitive situation, and they feel like, oh, maybe I haven't done everything I can do, and then they start over rehearsing, and then very classic syndrome is they warm up for their performance, which is only 3 minutes. They warm up for like 3 hours, and it's like way too much. But they just want to give it their all and prepare to the max, you know.
How has the festival changed your life?
Well, it changed my focus in life. I knew as soon as I entered the Eurovision in 2018 that I will not go back to the setup I had before. I was like comfortable being a songwriter and coaching a little bit, and didn't have the huge desire to be a solo musician. But when I decided to do that, I was a solo musician back like in the beginning. That's how I started, and I always knew that it's gonna happen someday, that I come back. I never knew when, and this for me was the kickoff. So this is a big kickoff for me, the Eurovision.
Since then, you've released a new single, Stone Cold. You've been performing in the live ball in Vienna. What else have you been doing?
Yes, I mean, if you're lucky enough to finish third, there's always buzz in your country. You know, it doesn't get quiet. There's a lot of social gatherings and a lot of invitations. So I really did that. I just really mixed with all the causes. There are many interesting projects to be involved in, and of course I continued writing and found a balance between all of that. There's a lot of things to do. But I'm rather a bit overworked than underworked.
Do you have any plans of a new single, of an album?
I have many singles prepared actually already. Album as a more or less online artist is not really, you know, the priority. It's beautiful to have it, but it's it's maybe dying, the album as an art form. But until the end of the year, will be at least 2, 3, maybe 4 even singles coming out, and I will raise my output level steadily. Yeah.
Will you keep this like your style, like Stone Cold and Nobody But You?
I think once you have heard like 3, 4 songs, you will understand the exact room in which I create. There's a couple of styles coming together, but there's many ways to do that. You know, there's always R&B because I'm an R&B singer, but usually I don't really write in an R&B style, so there's always a mix of that. So it always becomes a mix of different genres, but you will see it's quite consistent.
Tell me about Famous. You met him in OT, in the Christmas gala. How was it? He was very shy.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy, such a natural and like a positive guy, and yeah, it was nervous, but also when we went on stage, he did his thing. You know, at this point he had spent quite a lot of time in the show Operación Triunfo, so he was already trained a bit, so he had confidence built up, which is good. And we did Nobody But You together, which was great fun. Yeah.
You said you wouldn't mind to write a song for him. Did you do it at the end?
We haven't gotten in the studio yet, but we talk about it all the time, and sooner or later I think it will happen. Of course, I would have loved to help him go to Eurovision, but the way it works in Spain, you have to first be in Operación Triunfo to go to Eurovision, which is a shame. I hope he will get the chance to go, because I think it's his dream.
Yeah, he said from the beginning he wanted to sing Nobody But You, and I guess you got all the notifications from the fans.
Yeah, I had like a lot of his fans writing me and actually kind of telling me what Operación Triunfo is, because I didn't know. It was amazing, yeah.
Speaking of Symphonics International, you're part of it. They've got huge successes. You have this year Azerbaijan and Malta, two of the best numbers, I think. But what happened to Bulgaria? I don't know if you have any clue.
Yeah, I mean, we're all sad that they decided to opt out of the competition this year. I don't know if they will be back next year. I cannot say that I don't know exactly why that happened. But better to be fully in Eurovision than just because you have to. If there's something wrong, figure it out and then come back strong, I'd say.
This year, the system of telling the votes has changed. And now, so the order to tell the televote is from the less voted by the jury to the most voted by the jury.
Okay.
So you would have been the last one to get the points if that was the case with you. Instead of getting the points of the televote at the middle of the show and knowing in advance that you wouldn't gonna win. Yeah. What would you have preferred?
Well, in my case, of course, it would have been extra exciting to do it like this. But I think in many cases it might be reverse, and you know it earlier. You know, I don't know if it's always to the best the change. I like the system that we had for the last 2-3 years. I liked it a lot because it was always exciting. It was never boring. I hope it's gonna stay like that.
Will you be in Tel Aviv?
I don't think so, because I have in exactly that time a lot of travels to do. I mean, I would love to drop by and just say hi to everyone, but at the other hand, it's not my year now. I don't have work to do, so it would be really just fun for me, you know.
What do you think about Panda?
Panda, I've never met her, even though she's also from Vienna, as I heard. Yes. I hear she makes all her stuff herself, which has to be respected and commended. And it's very good that Austria has backed another artist, you know, not a singer that doesn't write or something like that. It's very good. I hope more countries do it like this, because it's more interesting. Because what I think the viewers want to see is the artist and everything that makes him, like, they want to see the music as a reflection of the artist and everything belonging to one characteristic thing. So I think she's definitely authentic in what she does. Yes, I don't think she wants to win Eurovision. I think she wants to do her thing, and I think she can do that.
What do you think about the song? Do you think it's a winner song?
Like I said, I don't think the song is written to be a winner song. It's written to represent her and to show what she's about, to show her style. And I think, you know, Eurovision has many benefits. You don't only go to Eurovision to be first, because in competitions like this, there is no big difference between being first, second, third, fourth. It's not an actual difference. It's not like the winner gets something the others don't get. All of them get exposure, get people all over the world watching them, and so you can be the winner even if you're not the first or even second or even third.
What about Miki? Have you heard the song, the Spanish song?
I heard it 2 or 3 times. I'm glad that we have an uplifting, high energetic song, because that's sometimes at Eurovision a little bit, you know, everybody wants to do a power ballad, something gripping, but you know, the feel good factor sometimes gets lost. In 2016 we had the feel good factor with Polly. It was the partiest song of them all, and I'm glad that with Miki's song we have one of those.
Just to finish, Conchita broke some barriers with LGBT. Do you think you broke your own barriers by getting third in the festival?
I definitely broke barriers in the awareness of Austrian entries. I think Austrians, if every country changes their awareness of Eurovision depending on how good their artists do. So if 10 years we're always last, nobody will care about Eurovision, only the hardcore fans, But if we have current and competitive, so people who do good, then the young people will start watching Eurovision again. And I see it now in Austria. The people that come to me have all ages, everybody's engaged again, people rewatched Eurovision that didn't watch it when it was live. So it's always good. It's very good for Austria, and I hope that we can continue this tradition, upwards trajectory.
Hopefully. Thank you very much, Cesar. It was a pleasure again.
Likewise.